Series, Utah and Oklahoma City. They both won 48 games. Thunder won the season series 3-1. Jazz finished the season stronger. Russell Westbrook started this one fast. He's just going to the rack. Fired up, back at it. And now Westbrook working on Ricky Rubio. Medicinal. Fifth straight postseason game with 25 points and 10 boards. Ties LeBron James with the longest streak the last 5 seasons. Mitchell would also tie the king in another way. Rubio not looking. Mitchell is tall. Mitchell showing off some speed. Scoop shot works. First player since James with 25 and 10 rebounds in his first playoff game. But it wasn't all good for Mitchell. Now watch him off ball here. The spot shot gets tangled up with Corey Brewer and comes up limping on the play. There it is. Drag the foot. X-rays negative. But Mitchell would return in a limited way the rest of the game. That hurts for Utah. Meanwhile, Paul George just writing down numbers. Thunder up 59-53. Westbrook, George, put one in the air. Thunder extend the lead 62-53. Now up by 10. George got a rhythm over Royce O'Neal. 13-point game. Now they cut it to 7. Abrines misses, George doesn't. Steven Adams played a good one himself, liking the effort from George. Unstoppable. 8 made threes, a postseason career high for George. Ties a franchise record. Thunder up 102-91 here. Westbrook. Teamwork makes the dream work. Westbrook with 8 assists. And now Thunder rolling. Carmelo Anthony wants to be involved. Jazz go down 116 to 108. The hero was the guy with all the points. George with 36.
It gives us, a lot of confidence, but we knew all along we got multiple guys that can, make plays and create and be explosive offensively. We're not going to put that pressure on that one, on just one guy. Obviously, my job is to help, Russ, and with that is helping the team. So, it's my job to bring it and bring it at a high level.
Can you just talk about playing with Playoff P finally and just getting a chance to see him getting it going like that?
That's his name? Playoff. That's the new name?
I don't know.
I'm gonna let Russ answer that one. Playoff
P,
P.
when he's aggressive, man, it changed the game for us, as you've seen tonight. Like Mel said, he got it going. And our job is to make sure we find him and make it easy for him. As long as he stays aggressive, makes we're a better team.
Royce and Joe's defense on board was a great defense, and hit tough shots. As a basketball player, you see those type of shots go, and then everything, the rim is wide open. Man, hopefully he doesn't go 8 for 11 the rest of the series, but we played great defense, and I think we're proud of that.
So Paul George goes for 36. That's third most in Thunder playoff opener franchise history. Kevin Durant, number 1. Gus Williams from the parent team in Seattle, the other. Last season, most points scored in any playoff game by any Thunder player besides Russell Westbrook. That was just 20 points by Taj Gibson.
Fear the deer. Bucks Celtics. Last time these two met in the playoff series, Danny Ainge started for Boston. It was 1987. All right, we've got less than 15 to go in this thing. Boston up by 3, and there's Malcolm Brogdon. Wahoo wah. Bucks tied at 96. Less than 10 to go. Celtics turn. Terry Rozier makes some space with Eric Bledsoe, and that is clutch. Drains it with half a second left. That's pretty much your game winner right there. I mean, he makes that. It's all good. Rozier after the play.
I figured Bledsoe would bite, and it allowed me to make a move, get to my step back 3.
But they do have that thing where you get a timeout, you get to advance the ball, so the Bucks inbound it, and lo and behold, Chris Middleton says we're going to have overtime from 40. The Bucks bench is thrilled. You see that? That ball's out of his hand with a tick left, a 10th, and it's in. Here's Middleton, Giannis on the final sequence.
First of all, before the timeout, I asked Chris if he wants the ball. He said yes, give me the ball. I was looking at Tony. Tony was wide open under the rim. Then I looked at Bledsoe. Then I looked at Chris again. He was far away, so I thought I can't give him the ball. It's too far. But I didn't have no option. I gave it to Chris, and thank God I didn't knock the shot down.
Middleton 31, Giannis 35, and now in overtime, all those good feelings we had in Milwaukee are, well, it snowed and it was terrible weather in Wisconsin. Rozier drills a three. Jason Tatum, the rookie, I'm not even sure how that went through without actually hyperextending his elbow. Celtics up 3, and then Brogdon drives, blocked by Tatum in the lane. Tony Snell, no. The Celtics are going to win it, 113-107. Sees a winner.
Those guys lived a lot of what the playoffs are about today. So the good news is they've got now a little bit of experience and know how hard it is, know how detailed you have to be to finish a team out, which we weren't. Obviously at the end of regulation, and hopefully we're better in that situation as the series goes on. But it's hard. It's hard to win, and that's what you learn in these games.
We got to take care of the ball, in game 2, and hopefully we can get back and rebound the ball, because when we rebound the ball, we're real dangerous. We can run, we can do a lot of things, so hopefully in game 2 we can rebound the ball too.
Post-game refreshments provided by the NBA. Getting off to a good start bodes particularly well for the Celtics. Look at that. A 9-12 series winning percentage when winning game 1 of a best-of-7. That's the second best winning percentage of any team to play at least 15 series.
Stephen A. Smith joins us from Houston, where he saw the Rockets win, but let's table that for the moment because something else significant happened earlier in the day. The Cleveland Cavaliers are down 0-1 to Indiana. What do you make of that?
Well, they got completely outclassed. They got beat up, plain and simple. They got thoroughly outplayed. Victor Oladipo was the best player on the court. He's basically made a statement, I've arrived. That's really is that simple. LeBron James was a bit lethargic, but it was primarily because he didn't have much help other than J.R. Smith showing up in the fourth quarter, who really showed up for him. Kevin Love was a relative disappointment. Don't get me started with Jeff Green. He couldn't buy a shot. The Calderons of the world and others, they simply didn't show up and get the job done. They seemed a bit lethargic. I'm not going to accuse them of underestimating the Indiana Pacers. I'm simply going to say they were thoroughly outplayed. They were out-hustled. Indiana looked quicker at every single position on the floor, and they basically put, obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers on notice that here they come. And when you got somebody like Lance Stevenson that's all in LeBron's face at every turn, even though we know he's not on LeBron's level and he can't deal with LeBron, that doesn't mean he's not a tremendous asset to the Indiana Pacers. He was today in helping Oladipo and those guys. They stepped up and handled their business, and Oladipo, again, reminded everybody that a new star has arrived in the NBA, and it's him.
Well, Minnesota gave Houston, the 1 seed, the best record in the league, a big push. But as usual, James Harden was a little too much.
He was sensational. He was unstoppable. You could just see Chris Paul just cringing his face because he was just marveling at what he was witnessing from James Harden, as was this capacity crowd inside the Toyota Center. He put on an absolute show, which is typical for an MVP candidate and a soon-to-be league MVP. If we're fair and smart, that man will get that award. He was absolutely unstoppable tonight. Had help from Clint Capella, but in the same breath, he did it without the services of Trevor Ariza, who couldn't buy a shot, without the services of P.J. Tucker, who couldn't buy a shot, without the service of Eric Gordon, who couldn't buy a shot on this particular night. And CP3, uncharacteristically, they were -4 with him on the court. That's not something that's going to happen again. But without those guys being in tip-top shape, ready to perform, James Harden just took over, put on an absolute show, and just put Minnesota on notice. You're not going to last very long in this series. He made shots. They didn't when it counted, particularly Jimmy Butler with that last three-point shot. I don't know why he launched that. And Karl Anthony Towns played 40 minutes and scored 8 points and only attempted 9 shots. Somebody needs to explain that to us as we move forward. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But in the end, it doesn't usurp the greatness that you saw from James Harden tonight. He was a league MVP tonight. He was absolutely sensational.
Stephen A. Smith, we're just starting. Enjoy the playoffs.